Let's talk some guards, right?
Yeah, let's definitely talk some guards. Mike McNuggets, other side of the glass, good morning to you.
What's up, guys?
You want to set us up on the Guardians? Did you watch the game last night? Or did you go to bed?
No, I was asleep, I'll be honest. But I watched a 10-minute melt this morning, and I don't care what happened after because Ohtani mowed him down and DeLauter got hurt, which is about, as you mentioned earlier, the single worst outcome. Now, X-ray came back negative. It's not the end of the world. Hopefully it's just a foot contusion. But, guys, the middle of the lineup has been non-existent so far. Naylor, Manzardo, and Jose are combined 6 for 60 in 6 games.
It's not good.
And Ohtani, against the best pitcher they faced this season, they looked essentially helpless.
They were helpless.
A lot of teams do against Ohtani, but last night was
unit,
just
man.
He is. You guys know Sarah Langs? Do you know her, the baseball?
Yeah.
I used to work with her at ESPN. She's one of the most incredible human beings I've ever met. She knows baseball better than anybody I know.
Awesome.
She had a great tweet this morning that said, consider this. The man who has the longest on-base streak in baseball, 36 games, and who hit 55 home runs last year, also has Major League Baseball's longest consecutive innings scoreless streak at now over 22 innings. And when Sarah has a way of framing stats where you look at them and you're like, wait a minute, that can't be true.
You gotta read it twice.
It's true. This guy, and supposedly from those that are close to Shohei, his mission in the offseason, and he's stated it publicly, that this year he's targeting the Cy Young Award. And
why not? He's
got
MVPs. He's had the home run crown.
4 MVPs. I mean, the guy's done everything you can do in baseball. And if he pulls the three-peat this year and wins the Cy Young, the argument for me is already over. He's the greatest baseball player ever. Now, if he's going to be rubber stamped that at the end of his career, he's got to do it for longer. I think we all agree on that.
Sure.
But if he wins, because let's face it, in today's free agent world, you don't win 2 championships in a row. No one wins 3 in a row. If they punch their ticket this year and win 3 in a row, and he wins the Cy Young Award, the argument is so dead at that point. This is the greatest that's ever done
of all time, and we'll
period.
probably never see anything like it again. Just enjoy it.
I don't think.
Yes, it's crazy. I mean, all those greats we've always compared him to, like Babe Ruth, and the list can go on because I've heard Bull talk about it for years.
Yeah.
It won't even be a conversation. Like, there won't be even an argument to be made. It's not the MJ versus LeBron conversation where you can make arguments about different decades and how they played. No, this is absolutely, like, hands down, this guy is the GOAT.
I agree.
And you have to think, if the CBA goes through, they do the negotiations, they have a floor, they have a ceiling. We may never see a run like this ever again. If the owners have their way with a salary cap,
we won't.
The players have their way with the salary floor, which I think they're probably going to come together, and there's going to be some combination of that. This Dodgers lineup's never going to exist again because they can't pay $500 million for one guy. No. So, like you said, enjoy it because this might be the last time we ever see it.
It will be. That's a great point. If this, and I do think that we're headed to a ceiling and a floor, and if we get there, you're not going to have a super caliber team that could rip off 3 in a row. So much has to happen to win 1. And then to repeat, so much has to happen in your favor again. Injuries, everything else. Everything has to break your way. And then to think that a team could do it 3 years in a row if spending gets dispersed like it should be across the league, it would be almost impossible. I'll say this, last night, I didn't think he had his best stuff. He struggled with his command. He walked a couple of guys. I felt at times he was a little frustrated with his inability to locate. But when he got in trouble, I think it was in the 3rd, he got 2 on. He got right out of it. He is just a master. And to me, it seems like he is really, and he's been down at the plate so far. That's only, 6 games? He's been down at the plate so far. And maybe it is because he's putting more mental energy into his pitching. But I knew early on from his stuff, even though he wasn't locating his pitches, I'm like, this is going to be another 2 or 3 hit game. They ended up with 2 hits, 1 run. And when you look at the punch that this lineup has or doesn't have, in today's lineup, we will have exactly 0 home runs in the lineup for the season. Only 1 guy is homered for us.
I was going to say, only 1 guy. DeLauter's the only guy who's gone yard. Yeah.
Look at these numbers for... These guys are expected to be
it's your 3, 4, 5 hitters,
and it's been awful. And I know that the one thing that I do want to throw out there that everybody should consider is they've faced Seattle's pitching, which is widely regarded to be among the best staffs in baseball, And then the Dodgers, which are the Dodgers, of course. And the pitcher they're going to face tonight is even more difficult, and he's going to be tough to put runs up against. So I'm not too concerned at their lack of run production because they're facing all-star caliber pitching. But my God, man, they better wake those bats up soon because when you come home, you get another team that won 90-plus games last year in the Cubs. They were a playoff team. Kansas City is no slouch. Atlanta and St. Louis, mid. I think we don't really know what they're going to be this year, but you've got to find a way to score runs. And Chris, I don't know what's going on. I'm concerned.
I think it's too early to be concerned because we are only 6 games in. And with everything you just said, and I agree with a lot of it, they're still 3-3 against 2 teams that were in the chase last year. This is about as good of a start as we could have hoped for, I think.
Yeah.
The fact that they have a chance to come home after the Dodgers and the Mariners with a winning record if they take the series against the Dodgers. You would have told anybody that at the beginning of the year when the schedule came out, you'd be like, sign me up. We're in it. Let's do this. I do think Jose Ramirez, he's a slow starter generally because the weather's cold. He doesn't like the cold. I don't know what it is, but I think he'll be fine. Obviously, he's a Hall of Fame player.
He's also not 23 anymore.
That's very good point.
He's getting up there in age. It feels like he's been here forever, and he has been here forever, which is why it feels like that.
He's going to play in the homestand. He will become the games played leader in Cleveland baseball history, all time.
I mean, it doesn't surprise me because it's been how many years? Has it been 12 years?
11, 12 years. I think 14 he came up. This might be his 12th big league season. Yeah. And the thing is, he plays 150 games every year.
And he doesn't
rarely hurt.
He just
doesn't take days
He doesn't
off.
seem old.
No.
But you got to remember, Father Time will catch up with us at some point.
14th season already.
Wow.
And we talked on Monday's show about Myles Garrett. I had spoken the blasphemous words about. So what point is the peak for a football player, especially a football player that plays a high contact position like Myles does? I don't know what that is. I did caution, don't apply typical to Myles Garrett. If the typical peak for that position is 29 or 30, don't panic. Myles Garrett is atypical. He's one of one.
He's like a LeBron type
he
of guy.
He is built like a tank.
And,
there's no indication that we've hit that peak and that we're on the downslide, but rarely do you see that coming. Rarely do you it's not like a gradual thing. Just oftentimes one season you turn on the television and you're like, whoa, what happened? And that's where the decline begins. And once the decline begins, unless you're David Ortiz or Roger Clemens or someone of that ilk, you never get it back. If you look the career arcs of Roger Clemens, it went like this, and then like this, and then like this. Same thing with David Ortiz. David Ortiz they were writing his obituary in the Boston Globe. And then all of a sudden, his swing speed got faster and faster, and we don't know what could that have been.
We
Science?
don't know. Yeah.
Magic.
Yeah, that's right, magic. Well, so I'm not going to predict that we're at the decline stage for Jose Ramirez, but the longer this drought goes, the more concerning it gets. I had said to Sean, our sports producer in Arizona, and I said, I'm not going to say this on the air. I'm only going to say this to you, so if I'm wrong, you're the only one that knows it. But I've been watching a lot, and the more I watch, the more I feel okay in saying this. I will not be surprised if we begin to see decline in the production of Jose Ramirez this year. It's time, according to the clock. And also, I watched his swing, and I know sometimes he's hard to judge because he makes everything he does look so easy because it looks like he's just so carefree. But I just didn't hear the pop in his bat. I didn't see it off the bat. I didn't feel the thunder and the power with his swing. And I'd written it off to, God, this is his 14th spring training. How exciting can you get? But now that we're into the regular season, I still don't see it.
Still March baseball, though.
I know.
It's so early. I come back to me when the temperature is over 70 degrees in Cleveland.
I'm not predicting it. No, I'm just saying I'm not going to be surprised if he doesn't hit 28 home runs this year. He hits 23.
Yeah.
That would be my question.
But here's the thing. Can we accept the fact that he may hit 23 a year for the next few years? Well, I'd be okay with that.
Yeah, sure. We're going to have to be.
We're going to have to be better than what we've had.
Absolutely.
He signed a 7-year contract extension, so he's here through his 40th birthday season. So, yeah.
At the end of that contract, if he's hitting 20 home runs, that's
take that in a heartbeat.
Absolutely.
The caveat to those contracts is what Detroit did with Miggy back in the 2010s.
They still paying him?
I think he's off, but the second that he
a lot of
signed
pizzas,
that
man.
huge deal, has a lot of pizzas. Pizza. And the thing was, they were straddled with him for 6 years, 7 years. They could do nothing with him. I am not at all predicting that for Jose Ramirez. But we got to see these guys start hitting, and we got to see it soon. And tonight, I'm not going to predict it tonight because the starting pitcher that they're facing tonight is a very, very good pitcher.
Who's on the hill tonight?
It's Yamamoto.
Yamamoto. Yoshinobu Yamamoto.
Yes, and I think last night was.
I wouldn't want to hear Mike try that
Nintendo bobblehead dude from the Nintendo movie.
Yeah, Yoshi. Yeah.
I think it should have been tonight,
right,
when he is on the mound. But yeah, so they were giving away the bobbleheads last night. Tonight, Yoshi for real is on the hill, and the Guardians. My question when I turned them on is, can we get a hit tonight? You know, right. And I watched last night, and when I watched the first couple of innings, I said, we're on no-hit alert again. And we managed 2 hits for the night, 1 run, not a good deal. There's your TV info. Friday, by the way, if the game is played and played as scheduled, it'll be played on WKYC, as we are the local broadcast home for your Cleveland Guardians. We did a couple hours pregame show. We'll be out at the Progressive Field.
I'll be down there.
Get wet, probably.
You got
Bring your umbrella.
Rain gear? I got my rain gear ready.
Yeah, I know. I had to pull it all out just to get ready for it. So anyhow, Guardians sitting okay, 3-3. Win tonight, come home with a 4-3 record, playing against 2 teams that made deep playoff runs last year. I'd take that. I would take that for sure.